Greetings and welcome, family, to a special once a month program of Diana Pharr, The Message. And her featured guest tonight is King Simon. Pardon me while I check my phone. I'm going to put it on mute. So we'll start with the beginning openings to stay ahead. So I'm going to go backstage. Remember, family, wherever you're listening from, let us know in the chat what part of the world you're listening from.
Blessed love, this is Jah Lion King, you know. Breathe up and out and feel gentle. Yeah, man, breathe Jah Lion King, up and out and feel gentle. Give thanks to life, give thanks to health and strength, you know. Give thanks to positiveness, give thanks to consciousness, give thanks to righteousness, give thanks to love. Give thanks to Ida Flat, Jah, universal love, you know, one and all, you know. Give thanks to all good things and all abundance and all blessing. And then approaching a new year, you know, praying for everyone to be more conscious, more righteous, more loving, caring, more sympathetic, loving each other, you know, and praying for each other, you know, because God is love and love is God, you know, so let us all love, you know. And remember, love is the key that opens all doors, no matter what race and nation. Love is the key that opens the door for only Mount Sinai. And whosoever enter in, ever live in life shall have, you know. So love is the key, you know. So peace and love to the world, you know, and blessing and prosperity and joy and happiness and goodness for the 2024 coming from Andrew Priest, Jah Lion King. And if you want to contact I, 347-444-4460. Give thanks to life. Jah Rastafari, Holy Emmanuel I Selassie. Jah Rastafari, Holy King Emmanuel Scepter. Jah Rastafari, heal the might, heal the strong, the might, I am the I am. Holy John Marcus Messiah Gavi I Selassie. Jah Rastafari, I live it, but fearfully much my Lord, we know people are Selassie. Jah, give thanks and I praise the Lion, my Lord.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'een. Ihdina siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladina an'amta alayhim. Ghayr maghdubi alayhim. Wala dwalleen. Alhamdulillah. Dr. Sanada Kamara, co-founder of Temple Mother Earth, sending love, peace, and abundance prayer to everyone around the world.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. This is Sheikh Sufi Ba, SheikhSufi@gmail.com, CHEIKHSUFI@gmail.com. Opening prayer for the greatest shaman that I know in the West, Brother Ankh, Rising Sun. A'udhu billahi bismillahi inna waliyullahu. A'udhu billahi bismillahi inna waliyullahu. A'udhu billahi bismillahi inna waliyullahu. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin al-Fatihi lima ulika wal-Katimi lima sabaka Nasir al-Haqi bil-Haqi wal-Hadi ila siratika mustaqim wa ala alihi haqqa qadrihi wal-Miqdarihi al-Azim.
hosts of sitting ascended masters, great angelic hosts, great cosmic beings who govern the system of worlds and the seven light world. Lord, we call upon your grace to heal the earth of the actions of the sinister forces. Their plan is to eliminate the population in the most horrible and murderous ways. They have already poisoned our food with things we can't even pronounce. They poison the water with fluoride. They poison the air with chemtrails. They have poisoned the medicine with side effects that will kill you if you take it. And they have poisoned the technology against mankind. They have weaponized all these things against mankind. We call upon your grace to free us from the sinister forces whose diabolical plan is to make this world the most hellish place. America, which was the light of the world, that was brought to the world, established in this world, to make every human being here ascended, and then to have that spread throughout the world. Lord, we ask you to incarnate in this very planet, incarnate in mass, incarnate with sitters and ascended masters, with divine beings of every type, to bring in revolutions of meditation, revolution of mantra repetition, revolution of chanting, revolution of spreading love and light, revolutions of knowledge. Lord, we call upon you to empower us with our divine selves, so that we can rid the world of these very sinister forces whose aim is to do nothing but create this place to be a Sodom and Gomorrah. We already know that Earth is the most wicked planet in the universe. Let us turn it to be the light of the world, so that it is the greatest planet in the universe, so that we excel even what is happening in the great central sun. As a matter of fact, Lord, we ask all the beings from the great central sun to incarnate on the earth, to incarnate on the earth, to incarnate on the earth within us, so that we could do the work that I'm begging for now. Oh Lord, I ask this in the name of Swami Nityananda Paramahansa, Bhagavan Nityananda, Guru Maha Chivasananda, beloved Saint Germain, Lord Jesus the Christ, Lord Buddha, Allah, and the great Sunnah Kumar. Almighty I am, Almighty I am, Almighty I am.
Aboru aboye aboshishe alafia ubuntu assalamu alaikum assalamu alaikum sanda om namah shivaya. I give you praise in the main shalom. Whatever your wonderful beliefs and your system of beliefs is, we give praise. But we give praise to the Olodumare, the Olorum, the Somole, the Albamole, Efonfuni, Legi, Kuku, Tekunani, Samujuano, what Deo Room, Mojuba, Mudemo, Male, Mafon, Matibo, Joe. We give praise to the God who is the owner of today, the owner of yesterday, and the owner of all days to come. He to whom the Rumole and Albamole exist to know his laws and command, originating creator, all things discovered and yet to be discovered. We give praise to our grand, powerful ancestors, those wise ones who come, give us directions, light, love, and help us to be able to receive the benefit in our life. We ask that you be able to embrace the great divinity of Rumila, the one who is witness creation, second only to all Damari, the owner of medicine, more powerful than medicine, the immense orbit that fought the day of death. He to who is the perfect in the house of wisdom. He is able to heal and to regenerate you creatures of ill luck and bring them perfectly back into homeostasis, understanding, light, and love, and helping you to embrace the love of the universe as we give praise to all the creatures of the universe, everything that moves and reverberates, and the vibration that moves in your life. Allow you to find goodness, allow you to find health and vitality, strength to move forward for the accomplishment of all the goals that you have set for you and your family. My name is Babalao Oluwole Abiyomi Fakunle Adetuti Ronkolo de Manyansa. My nickname is Babalao of Harlem. We send greetings to you today. As you at www.ifakunle.com, you can be.
Oh great spirit, great mystery, sending a prayer of peace to this world, to all the humans, a prayer of peace to all of us. May we remember how to be good relations. May we remember how to be good brothers and sisters. Sending a prayer of love to the heart of the earth. Thank you, Mother, for loving us so much. Thank you for being so forgiving with us. Thank you for being so patient with us. May your light reach all the beings that are suffering right now. May your light, may your love reach their lives. May your light guide them in the right direction. May your love give them strength for them to keep walking, living. Sending prayers to all of you, my family. May we always remember to be together, that we are all one big family, that all of us belong to this earth. Thank you, Mother. Hi, familia. My name is Osvaldo Pomaquiza. I come from Ecuador, and I want to invite you to sit with me. I serve a grandfather Wachuma. My phone number is 201-981-4545. Feel free to text me, call me, and also give me thanks for this space. Thank you so much. I love you.
Remember to subscribe, share, and like this video. And magnets, crystals, pyramids, and remember to journey to the bliss.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Call to the warrior in you, to the healer in you, the king, the queen, the magician, the lover in you. Every single day, we are called to walk in our purpose. Answer the call. Lay down your burden and anything that holds you back and take your rightful place. The battle is everywhere. It's right in your face. Let's go.
Crystals and pyramids. Success is your destiny. Yes. Love, wisdom, power. Remember always who you are. Yes. Yes. I am. Love, wisdom, power. Yes. Yes. Yes, I am.
Greetings and welcome, family. Thank you for being born. Thank you for being alive. Thank you for all your posts as far as where you're listening from, family. I want to know where on the planet's surface, what part of the globe you are holding the sacred fire, because we can't do it without you. We need to know what town, what city, what state, what country, so we have a global overview in the spirit of Ubuntu. And with that being said, thank you for being on this show tonight. Uh, we're going to have Diana Pharr with her featured guests, her co-hostess, and I'm going to be in the background with camera controls. So she's going to take it from the top. But first, we have to invite I am and me, I am and Diana, I am and Diana's uh, assistant co-hostess. I think it's Adwa. I am within King Simon. I am within you, the listening audience, now and in the future. We individually and collectively call upon our ascended master, big brothers and sisters, to drop the rope of hope so that we don't have to be on a squirrel cage of incarnation with amnesia at the time of conception. We are going to break free from this prison planet chicken farm, global, most evil planet in the galaxy at present. But you, my Jedi brothers and sisters, are here to change the outcome. So we call upon ascended masters to do a planetary coup of the grassroots population. And we call that they have the golden touch of illumination. We ask a presence of ascended master, gatekeeper of Northern California, Saint Germain, to be on our hands, put your hands on our shoulders, and guide the show. We call on the latest Christ, born in the Congo, Simeon Toko, to come and be a part of this platform beyond this show. We call on ascended master Sheikh Amadou Bamba, Sheikh Ibrafal, who walked on water, fireproof, bulletproof, flew through the air. And if you can't do that, I can't either. All right. So we invite Sheikh Amadou Bamba to guide us with the rope so that we too may be able to do this with the science of love supreme. Sheikh Ibrafal, we call on Sanat Kumara, Yeshua, Black Madonna, Mother Mary. Call upon Harriet Tubman, Mary McLeod Bethune, Dr. George Washington Carver. Call on Seraphis Bey, Buddha, Lady Buddha. Yeah, that was Lady Buddha's family. The patriarchal paradigm only became after the Abrahamic religions of Islam, Christianity, and Judaism pimp slapped the feminine principle right off the table. So we're going to have to bring them back because, you see, it's not balanced. We got to have the balance. So family, we are calling on Krishna, Lady Krishna. We are calling on Imhotep, Ptahotep, Akhenaten. We are calling on Asar, Tahuti, Ratah, White Buffalo Calf Woman. We are calling on Quetzalcoatl. We are calling on ascended masters of antiquity, of Atlantis, Lemuria, Hollow Earth. We are calling on Marcus Mosiah Garvey, El Hajj Malik El Shabazz, Prophet Noble Drew Ali, Prophet Elijah Muhammad. We're calling on all the shaman warriors, Chief Geronimo, Chief Osceola, Chief Sitting Bull, Chief Crazy Horse, Chief Seattle. And we're calling on the activists who walk in the spirit of love to be with us. May you walk with your crystals, your plant medicine, your water, and your sacred teas. And we acknowledge the forces of nature that live inside of us. Ilagba, Oshun, Yemaya, Ologun, Oya, Shango, Ogun, Obatala, Ochosi. We, spirit of Ubuntu, we call on South African Zulu shaman beyond the veil of life after life. Credo Mutwa, be with us. And so let it be spoken. So let it be done. I'm going to be back screen. King Simon will be shortly here. And I am moving back. Diana, it's on you and your sister co-pilot. I'll be in the back.
Good evening. It looks like it is, oh, there she is. To the audience, I just saw King Simon come in, so he's on his way. This is our first message that we'll be having a guest, which will be our format for the new year. And what better way to start with the king? So King Simon will indeed be with us shortly. What we'll be doing, what you can anticipate, is the message will be a reading, not in the sense of telling what is to come, but sharing as the direction of the energy, sharing how the elements interact and create the cycles of space and time that we live within, because it is that interaction. It is that interaction that our alignment with restores the magic of our humanity. So Ajava is going to be starting. So I'm introducing her this evening to the audience. So she will be with me every month. We'll be here the last Thursday of the month, and she's going to share what's called the correspondences to this time. And then I'm going to fill in with some grounding in terms of how you might be experiencing the energy of the time we're in a very intimate way in your everyday life. So, Ajwa, if you can read the share the correspondences for this last Thursday of, this isn't just the last Thursday of December, this is the last Thursday of 2023. So please.
Good evening. Thank you, Diana. Good evening, everyone. Greetings and welcome to this special feature of Crystals, Magnets, and Pyramids with Diana Pharr. This evening's guest is King Simon, and we will start the evening with a special monthly message reading for the month of December, which will help us to flow into the new year. Today is Thursday, December 28th, 2023. And alchemy describes winter, the season that we're in, as the yin time of year, when darkness rules and the nights are longer. In the mathematical correspondences that relate to life, we're moving into a number 8 year, which aligns with power, finance, and magic. Winter also is aligned with the water element, which is what we use to restore the magic of our humanity. And I would, mine is low, but I would invite everyone to have their water for this evening. Uncio, that's what it's called in Twi, the language of the Akan. Uncio, water. Winter extends from the water element and is key to restoring the magic of our humanity, which we will hear Diana speak more about. The characteristics are rest and nurture and warming foods and warming spices and planning. At winter, we slow down, going inward, quieting ourselves, our minds, our days, in preparation to plan for the new season, spring. We make connections with others by gathering indoors where weather permits and preparing and sharing roasted, baked, smoked foods prepared with warming, fragrant herbs like cumin and ginger, cardamom, oregano, and remembering to eat at sunset. Winter rules the kidneys. We're brewing orange peel, cinnamon, and nutmeg with black tea for our kidney health, and remembering again to our uncio. You can receive more of this information and a free copy of Diana Pharr's Basic Practice in How to Restore the Magic of Your Humanity. You can email Diana at dphar8@aol.com. Again, Diana's email is dphar8@aol.com. That's dphar8@aol.com. For a personal reading, energy healing session, or again, for more information. I bid you a happy Kwanzaa, and thank you, Diana.
Thank you. Do we have King Simon's information, or are we holding on to that when he comes to share his contact information?
We do have it. He can share it, and then I can put it in
But it's in our announcements. It is in our announcements that we have King Simon's contact information that he shared with us.
His telephone number?
What he sent. What did he send? He sent, I'm sure he sent the website.
The link for tonight's show.
The link for tonight's show. How do people contact King Simon? I thought he sent us, we requested his promotional information.
Yeah, his contact information wasn't in that.
Okay, so there's a link that he's going to share. Are you able to recover his contact information while I do the message so that we can share that?
Absolutely.
Because that would be good. Thank you so much. Okay. And thank you for the cadence in which you read. Because the information that Ajawa will be sharing during this time is, however simple it may sound, it's very powerful in helping you to connect with the space-time we're in. So let's move forward with that. We just have the winter solstice, and the word solstice means to be still. December 21st, or thereabouts, is the winter solstice. And not literally, but from the lens of the ancients, the sun stood still between the 21st and the 24th, and then on the 25th, it began to appear to move forward again, northward, moving, foretelling that every day that the long winter nights would become shorter and spring would arrive again, and that we live within this cycle of space-time. So while we're in this time that the days are short and the nights are long, is described as yin, when the darkness rules. It's a time to go in. It's a time for planning, resting, nurturing. And that we're in an 8 year, it's so important to create that womb environment of planning and to connect with others, to nurture relationships, because relationships are so important to be able to tap into the energy and power of the 8. And where we are right now, the reading for the collective consciousness, how we're seeing the 8, how we're viewing it, actually vibrates to 6. And 6 correlates in basic alchemical practice is seeing. So what I just shared with you is a formula for the incoming year, that to tap into the power of 8 is requiring that we begin to see. And if it's requiring that we begin to see, it means that it's requiring that we be true to ourselves, because that's what allows the heart to open up, and the heart has to open up for us to see. So literally, how do we see? We see, and what aspect of our magic is cultivated by seeing? To see is to be able to observe the unity behind life. That in the world of endless possibilities, endless diversity, that there is an underlying connectivity. And how we see that, and many of you, and I would put the question to the listener is, how many of you are seeing correlations in the form of numbers, in the form of colors, in the form of hearing repeated messages from different people? I think it was a couple of days ago, Rising Sun mentioned to me that he's hearing the word magic more from different forms, as am I. And that's very important, because that's what it is to see that even though on one level there's diversity, and diversity is real, it's not an illusion, but it extends from an inner unity. So that forecast for the incoming year of 2023 is asking that we pay attention to that we begin to be aware of the synchronicities that appear in our life on a regular basis, that we begin to see. And the aspect of our magic that restores, that cultivates, is the Ajna chakra, opening up of the third eye. There's a sense of intuitive intelligence that's beyond our emotions and thoughts, that's cultivated when we look beyond what's happening on the physical, and we actually begin to observe that there's a flow of energy that's occurring in life, in our lives, because it's like a river. It's not like a river. It is a river of energy that the more we observe it, we're able to merge into that flow. And the effect that it has on human consciousness is phenomenal. Our brainwave activity begins to change. We go into an emergent state of consciousness. So why is this important in an 8 year? Those of you that are familiar with sacred geometry or numerology, as it's become to be more commonly called, have probably heard on many occasions that the number 8 rule is a money number. It rules power. It rules finances. The number 8 also rules magic. And magic is born out of our connection to that flow of life. And that flow originates deep within life, deep within the core of nature, and deep within the core of ourselves. And the degree that we experience life conspiring on our behalf, our ability to just be and flow. And when we have a challenge, we learn from it. And then we come back into the flow of life with a deeper connection to it. That relationship is what fuels the power of 8. And what many people experience as not being able to tap into or have challenges with the things that are ruled by 8. Marriage is challenging, money and resources, power, true power, because true power comes from not external forces, but our connection to that flow, to that energy within ourselves. So it's very so that's an alchemical formula. So what have I said? That where we are in space time is seeing, and and you do that. You cultivate your magic through seeing, through noticing correspondences, noticing numbers, noticing things that appear in your life, and then as you notice them, you'll find that an intelligence beyond your thought and emotion is carried with that observation, with that ability to see. So 2023, there's a very significant aspect that's happening in January that those that watch the cosmos have been anticipating for a long time. Some people describe it as the key aspect to what's identified as the Aquarian age. All astrologers are not necessarily in agreement with that, but people who practice a more academic form of the craft of astrology make historical observations in terms of what happened the last time we had this cosmic configuration. So the last time Pluto was in Aquarius, and I've mentioned this several times when I've been on the broadcast in the past, that the last time Pluto was in Aquarius, it was cited to be the age of war. It was the French Revolution, the revolution here in the United States. It marks a historical epoch when the masses rise up to empower themselves. Where Pluto resides, it gives power. It's been for the past 20 or more years in the sign of Capricorn, and governments and corporations empowered themselves even more in their relationship to humanity. So we're moving into a period in January 20th in 2023, where Pluto will move into Aquarius, which rules over humanity. And we will see power come to the people more and more as we travel through that transit. So that's a very it's a significant time. It's a historical epoch that we are moving into. So that's going to begin in January 20th. It's going to retrograde back into Capricorn for a moment in September, and then November it's going to go back into Aquarius and progress there till 2043. So it'll be there for 20 years. At this time, so two things are happening here that's beginning next year. One is the collective consciousness through seeing, through connecting with others, through our connection to the unified power that underlines nature. So that's empowering humanity. There's another Aquarian energy that expresses itself through AI, through the technology, through mechanical forms that connect, like the internet. That's also Aquarian. Another thing that happens that I'm slowly moving into, how can I discuss this? But it really is the crux of the message that I want to share with the audience, because I know that so many people are experiencing this as a frequency of 8 in the world right now and also in our personal lives. 8 is Saturnic, and it does rule over power and money, but it also rules over fear and hatred. And the most powerful forms of hatred are not called hatred, they're called other things. People rebrand hatred and they do the unthinkable in the name of whatever reframe hatred as. It creates bloodlust, and we're seeing this. Hey, darling, we're seeing this in. You're right on time. You're right on time. We're seeing this in many forms in terms of war on a mass scale in the world. Very Pluto and Aquarius, very 8, the fear aspect of it. And that fear aspect that vibrates to the number 8 is the dynamic that prevents a lot of people from experiencing the things that we most commonly associate with it: money, power. That we don't have that experience. So after we have a conversation with the king, I'm going to end tonight's broadcast with some ways. I don't know what this is. Oh, is this on my system? Some ways that we can navigate through that. And some of the things that some of the topics that we'll be covering. King Simon, welcome. This is truly a pleasure. This is truly a pleasure. We had an opportunity to speak earlier.
Yes, we have.
I know Rising Sun is in the background, but he should have your contact information. Here we go. Here we go.
Yes.
There we go.
All my right. Link tree. Yes, my link tree is open.
Thank you.
He got to remove that word opens in the back of there. So yeah, so he got to remove that word opens. It's numerator, not opens at the end. Yeah,
so let's correct that. So I'm sure he's on that.
Right.
I'm sure he's on that. So King Simon is one of the people, y'all, that I describe as they know where the bones are buried.
Not the bones.
They know where and the bones are Saturn too. They're ruled by 8. People that have been in this work for a very, very back in the day with Bob Law, such a long time. So he has his own broadcast on YouTube.
Yes,
but he's a numerologist, he's a promoter, he's an event producer. I got King Simon, I got my book. People are sending you love in the chat. But there's some things that are not so often discussed that we want to talk about here at Last Thursday. So King Simon is going to bring you up to speed on his work and what he'll be doing in 2023 and how to reach him and what he's offering people in his individual sessions. But first, before we get to that, I wanted to talk about what I'm calling hand to heart and eye to eye. And this is what I'm describing as the untold secret society of love amongst Black men.
Yes,
that I've observed over a lifetime. I have 2 adult sons. When I'm out with my sons or over the years during the times that I was married, that brothers, whether they know each other or not, if they don't know each other, when they see each other, they make eye contact. They may put their hand to the heart. If they know each other, they have all kinds of secret handshakes and all kinds of stuff that they do. And maybe fist to fist, hand to heart, chest to chest, turn around, elbow to elbow, it's like, brother, I feel you. I know what it's like walking around this here planet as a Black man. And that's what we want to talk about here on Last Thursday. I can't give testimony to that. You know, only a man can give testimony to that. So, King Simon, can you and women are I've been, most of my clients have been female over the years, and when I talk about that, women really are not aware of this. So what we're talking about here, it's not to polarize. This isn't about right or wrong. It's about to raise consciousness about something that women, the men know. The men know. The men will say, "I'm so glad that this is being talked about." But King Simon, can you please really elucidate on that, on what it is I'm talking about from the perspective of an actual man, please?
The divine masculine, right?
Divine masculine, yes.
There it is. First and foremost, thank you very much for allowing me to be on
I'm
your.
this is a pleasure. This is a
And
pleasure.
I want to thank Adawa, Danielle. Big up to you.
Yes.
Adawa, big up to you, my sister. Respect. I don't know if I met you before, but you know, it is what it is. And respect to you. Also, thank Ankh Rising Sun for allowing us to be on the magnet crystals and pyramid. You know, you always got to show that respect to everybody's platform. First and foremost, you know, when I was training under the system of still train now and then, but under the system of Dr. Moses Powell, with Chief Professor Bill, Anthony Muhammad, Soke Littlejohn, and all of the people that have touched and talked to and trained on the mat when worlds collide back in the day. You know, we used to say eye to eye, heart to heart, each one teach one. And before we got on the dojo mat, we'll say us, which we're giving honor and respect to the God energy in that person as they give honor and respect to that God, just like namaste and all of that. The fist bump, dealing with the fist bump, which is interesting because they say it goes back to the 17th century with the Quakers, and then it was popularized in the 50s with the boxers, but it goes back to the gladiator sports also, where warriors, when they acknowledge each other in victory, they would tap each other and give us the fist bump and move on and go do what we have to do. And you'll notice that, you know, the Barack Obamas, they popularized it after a while. Him and his wife was doing the fist bump and all that. But it goes way back into the gladiator sports back in the day when all of the metropolis of different gladiators was coming into that metropolis of Greece or Rome, and from whether it was the Moors, whether it was from the Africa, whether it's from Asia coming in, and that fist bump was also in existence then. Especially when I watch old movies and all that, I see it. So the unspoken word that you're talking about is what I've learned over the years of being under either in the Christian organization or either under Rasta or under Islam. I've been in the 5%, I've been in the Nation, I've been in the Ansar, I've been in and we've always had that heart-to-heart embrace, or when we see each other that we acknowledge that there's some type of consciousness or conscientious consciousness, we'll go like this.
Yes.
We'll bow to each other and show respect, showing that I see you, my brother.
Yes.
I acknowledge you.
Oh,
it's just like Masonic orders may go like this, and they might say, I know you, and I hear you, or, you know, cut it off, or I'm listening, you know, different symbols that we have taught each other to be able, that sometimes not even women knows what we're doing, but just like women have their own secret languages amongst themselves.
Well,
we all have, and we know the secret language.
This is taking this a step deeper. I have an alter ego named Ruby.
Hey, Ruby.
And Ruby is the warrior aspect of my spirit. She has a knife in her bra. but now that I'm an elder, she doesn't. You know. And then she went through a period where she carried a gun, but now she's tempered.
Exactly.
And during my incarnations, during the time where Ruby was very prevalent in my life, there was a period when my children were young. And it was actually when Queen first opened up the first Heal Thyself. And I was taking care of children, working with Queen, and bartending at night. And because I wasn't dating anyone, the brothers kind of took me under their breast. They made sure I got home safe. They took care of me. They looked after me. But what I was also privy to was that there was a whole narrative. There was a whole dialogue going amongst men that was very surprising to me as a woman in terms of how men felt and things that men experienced that other men got amongst themselves.
Right.
That men were collectively aware of that women did not know. So without divulging any secrets from the fraternity, what are some of those things that men understand amongst themselves about the experience of being a man, being a father, being in relationships that they can share amongst themselves with men that they feel that women don't understand or know about their experience, or that women are even blind to?
You know, one thing I've learned over the years of being married 3 times myself.
Me too.
Hey, I guess 4 is a charm when we decide to do it. The clover.
Oh.
A lot of us feel misunderstood because of Dr. Africa used to say, men and women are diametrically different. Even in our love language, we are diametrically different. And a lot of us do not recognize or don't respect our love language that are different. I cannot be a woman in how I share my love.
Bilingual. We don't understand. We genuinely don't get it.
Right. And a woman can't be a man in their love language. We can understand it and have empathy, but we can't. Nowadays, it's kind of mix up and fix up, but I'm concerned about nowadays. As far as I'm concerned, the sun is still shining the same way it was been shining. It's just that people are trying to corrupt things. But when it comes to that love language, many of us feel that we're misunderstood because they expect us to love the way they want us to love and not really come to a complementary view. I'm not saying oppositions. I'm not saying anything, because Europeans like to say opposites attract. No, complements attract. That's why yin and yang still flows together without disrupting each other. Especially when I'm taking Tai Chi and doing my Tai Chi moves. It's not disrupting each other.
Okay.
It's every earth. And so that's why it's very important that we all learn the inner standing of the love language so we can maximize the outer standing of it.
What do you think? What are some of the things that we can do to sort of begin to build a bridge? Because see, I know that the bridge can be built because
yes, it can.
I come from an era where the disconnect and the divide that I'm observing today was not the same. And I think that the receipts are in the music.
That's right. That's true.
That I'm not just imagining that I grew up in a world of so much romance and connection between a man and a woman. Our communities were just charged with it.
Yes, it was.
When a man loves a woman, if you let me, I can be a man.
That's right.
It's baby. It was so much a part of the culture. And I grew up in the shadow of my parents' energy.
Me too.
My mother didn't expect my father to do the things that sometimes I hear women yearn from men. They had a very silent, very sensual communication going on. He worked all the time. He would get up on Sunday morning, sit at the window, look out the window, light a cigarette, and she wouldn't even talk. She would just fix his coffee and sit it down. It was a wordless language.
Yes, it was.
That they have. And I think a lot of what has happened is happening through the weaponization of the music and the sex, drugs, and rock and roll. But what do you think are some of the things we can do to begin to reconnect with each other in this 8 year that rules over deeper relationship, and what are some of the things you can see that are possible?
On that note, on the 8, I want to talk on that really quick, because people know that I do numerovation, which is a form of numerology, but I'm adding motivation to it.
Okay.
A lot of us take on the consensus that it's an 8 only, but if you look at it from a holistic perspective, like Dr. Laila Africa taught me, and he published 3 of my books. The first numerology book that I wrote, he republished it for me before he transitioned. 20 plus 24 is 44. So we're not just going into an 8-year cycle, we're going into a 44 master year cycle. Mm. Then it adds up to the 8, but you never negate the 44. And because 44 is the number of trusting the order of the universe, that's what 44 really means. It's a dedicated building number that if man and woman wants to work together, because the 8 is similar to the infinity symbol, we have to infinitely understand our universal order as the divine masculine and divine feminine in order for it to work, especially dealing with a 44. Then it equals an 8 universe, because 44 is the number of building and manifesting in group consciousness, and 2 or more becomes a group.
Yes.
And the only way that most of us can do this, remember, in my book, Numeration for Mental Stability, a numerovational guide for recognizing mental instability and staying motivated. That's the name of my last book. 4, 7, 8, 5, and 3 in numerology, from my perspective, as the patterns and cycles and sequences that I've seen, are the mental health numbers.
Oh, gosh.
So our brothers and sisters have to get their mind right.
You just opened up the segment for part 2 of this. Really?
Align right.
Really.
They got to get their mind right in order for them to align their behind right.
Mm. You know, I want to King Simon. I'm giving you airway. You know, because you just nailed it. You just nailed it.
I hug both of you.
You just nailed it. That there's such an epidemic of trauma. Most people have dysregulated nervous systems.
That's right.
You know, and that relationships really isn't the environment that we're depending, that we should be looking for to make ourselves whole. You know, that mental health is something that really should be something it's an initiative within our community, that we recognize that we have trauma in epidemic proportion. You know, and there's so many people that are doing wonderful work along that line. So,
I want to say something.
Yes,
if you don't mind, Sister Diane.
Absolutely.
I wrote this book, Numeration for Mental Stability. I don't know if you can see it clearly, but it's on my Instagram. It's on my Instagram, and on my link tree right there. It was a love letter to people that went through mental health, not only my family, but also friends of mine that took their life because of mental illness. And my own great-grandfather took his life because of mental illness and emotional illness. And then the celebrities that I mentioned in there that took their life, from Robert Williams and Don Cornelius, and people that I seen was in a mental cycle. Recognizing that those 5 numbers I mentioned. The 4, 7, 8, 5, and 3. It attracts mental instability if you don't have discipline and you don't have order and focus and structure in how to manage your weaknesses and strengthen your strength. So I wrote this book.
Well, I can only say, in comparing these numbers to my own numerology chart. No, Rise, look. Look, no, look, I don't know if you know my background, how I got into, and we could segue into your work
Yes,
as
yes,
how you got into this.
yes,
I
yes.
was hospitalized when I was 18.
Mm.
I have seen and heard things all of my life.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what began my journey. That's what began my journey. I have a 5 souls number.
Mm.
And I'm born I'm born in a 7 year, and
Mm.
my maturity number is 3.
Mm. Like all of them numbers are mentioned. Get the book.
You know, so and I do one of the things that I want to talk about. Well, we're going to do that after King Simon shares what he's got, what he'll be doing in 2023. But my all of my work, the work that I've done and the program that I've developed, it is very much directed towards mental health and well-being, because that is the beginning of my journey. And that's something that, and people are we're going to continue. You know, there's so many things that are going on in our community, like that fear aspect of people being in loops, people having mental health issues. It is so very common.
Yes.
So we're going to talk about, that's like an opening to that needs to be dissected, and one aspect of it, you know, can be discussed. So, you know, we're gonna continue that dialogue, but I want to underline what you shared, that, you know, relationships, like everything in our life, are going to reflect who we are.
Mm-hmm.
And if our inner world is not orderly, then we're going to see that reflected in our relationships. And I know that I have, in those 3 marriages, it was my relationship with my family, in different shapes and forms. But I still want to go back and know if there's some, you know, what, as a woman, one of the things that I've identified with men in our community right now is that men express emotion very differently.
Yes, we do.
And that could very easily be misread by the feminine ear.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and in alchemy, wood, the seed of anger, that feeds the heart, the seed of love. You know, just as a mother of men, it's just been extraordinary, particularly in that period pre-pandemic, where it was like every week they were killing another Black man. It was awful. You know, I mean, just the degree of, I remember my sons, you know, when they were very little and people were treating them like they were a threat to society. That what I would want, just in general, the community to be aware of, is that the stress that our men are under psychologically on a daily basis. That this is something that we want to be aware of and to be able to see, because the reading that I did was seeing, to see behind what's happening on the surface, and to be able to observe perhaps where that energy is coming from, because there's a tremendous amount of pain management that men walk with that they don't articulate. And that's what I see in the eye-to-eye contact, that the men know, they understand it amongst themselves, but it's not so much shared outside of the masculine community.
Because we feel that's our last stronghold. Everything has been beating us down, and enough respect to the sisters that's gone, because, you know, women has held down a lot of the things after they separated us. They separated the family. We know what happened. It's all part of the plan to separate us and keep us apart. When one of my elders and a sister said, y'all may call her old school, and she'd been married twice, Both of her husbands transitioned on her, and she has 12 children. And I won't even mention her name, but she was a well-respected elder in this community. And when she was asked, "Why do you call me old school when I was the true school that worked?"
Yes. Yeah.
She ain't lose her husband to divorce.
Yes.
It was till death do them part, and they transitioned first.
Yes. And we know that statistically that we outlive our men.
We outlive it. And you remember there was a saying that Baba Heru said years ago, when people was in the midst of the sacred men at that time, men heal thyself. And he recalled it, and another brother who was there recalled it and said, they was talking about what's her name, Elizabeth Taylor being married 8 times, and the men was talking down towards that, but Baba Heru had to stop and say, but she got married.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't just sell herself and give herself to men. She got married, didn't just throw herself and went to the club and go and throw it up like most of these people of this new generation is doing. She got married. And you got to respect a woman that allowed herself to allow the man to court her and marry her and take her. And how many times Malcolm X used to say, do it till you get it right.
King Simon, what are you? We're closing off the year. This is the time where people in the craft, in the work, are in planning and what they're going to share with the community. So what do you got going on, and people can reach you, So, but what are you planning for 2024?
Well, because it is one of those numbers, and I personally are going into an 11-year cycle because I'm born February the 1st. So when you add the 2 plus the 1 plus the 8 that we're going into, connecting to that final digit, the 8, it adds up to a number 11. So I'm going into an 11 personal year cycle. So more spiritual work, definitely. More spiritual platforms on a higher level. After you, I'm going to be on a major platform tomorrow. On Saturday, that's going to take me to a whole nother level because I understand what frequency I'm going into, and I'm going into an expansion cycle, and which a lot of people are doing if they're born at a certain frequency. But just remember, the universal frequency of the 44 and the 8 next year is something to be very mindful of, what you allow in your mental capacity, what you put in your mind, whether it's movies, music,
absolutely,
and all the other things that might begin with M. Bad moods. You got to be very careful. And I want people to think, like, remember what I said earlier about 44 being the number of trusting the order of the universe. That the universe, remember, our universe is constantly expanding.
Yes.
And nothing is wasted in this universe.
Yes.
Nothing.
Emergence.
And if 44 is part of the health number, and the World Health Organization says there is no health without mental health.
Exactly.
So if I want all of y'all to focus on, when they try to go low and bring your frequency down low, like I'm going to do, I'm going to go high.
Exactly.
I'm going to listen to my Les Brown. I'm going to listen to my Diana Pharr. I'm going to listen to my Uncle Rising Sun. I'm going to listen to my Queen of Fools. I'm going to listen to my my Ian Levanzan. I'm going to listen to people that's going to bring me higher and higher, because we want to lift ourselves higher and higher. That's the song back in the day. Lifting up higher, higher than we ever been before. I still listen to Ain't No Stopping Us Now.
Yes.
You got to listen to those old school men. Love is the message.
As I do. And that's something, and that's all we sang about and celebrated and partied to every day. And the music has been weaponized.
That's right.
The music has certainly been weaponized. Is it? And before you leave, is there anything else that you want to share with us?
Of course, you can go to my Linktree / King Simon the Numerator if you want to book any sessions with me. I tell people all the time what I do. I don't do readings. I do consultations because.
Tell us a little bit about how your session
Right. Well, my sessions are recorded, but anybody that does is usually for 30 minutes because some people can't even, I don't do hours anymore because people can't even handle the 30 minutes.
It's not helpful. It's
It's not
too much.
You know, Lloyd will tell you I'm connected to that number one energy, so I'm straight to the point and I'm direct. And my sessions are question driven, and because I do numeration, where I use the numerals to motivate and activate and maximize your numbers, just like turning on a radio. When you turn on that radio and you hear your favorite song, before I let go, you're ready to turn up the volume. I want you to turn up your volume because I'm turning up mine. And it was due to my grandmother. It was due to the 5%. It due to the Unsar. It was due to the nation. And then Lloyd was the catalyst for me to cross over into practicing the numerology in 1989 from Gary Bird's show. When he was on Gary, read my name like a book on my birthday.
Yes.
And then I came out with my first book, and Lloyd said he wished he came up with that title. Numbers are simple, people are complicated. Yes. Because that is the truth. Because why the complication is because we allow the traumas to take over our life. We allow the repetitious name calling to take over. Remember, we learn through symbolism, trauma, and repetition.
Yes.
That's the main reason we learn it. So I want people to really take it upon themselves to really look in the mirror this year of your life. Look in the mirror and write yourself a love letter. Write it to you.
Well, mental health is definitely something that needs to become center stage.
Yes.
Within the community, because most people are operating in a dysregulated nervous system. And I've been encouraging people that do Reiki and other forms of healing to bring somatic healing into their work. It's very easy if you are already a CYI, you teach yoga to do somatic work, trauma release. We're going to bring on, those are some of the things that we'll be talking about. You know, many things. Are you the scapegoat? Another thing, are you the scapegoat in your family? The dynamic within families has undermined the mental health and well-being. People that are having experiences that are hyperdimensional, that they don't really have a vehicle for or support for. You know, out of body is very, very common. In the medical community, they call it, what is it? I think it's called a sleep abnormality, but it's more than just a sleep abnormality. You know, it's in our interaction with a deeper sense of reality. So I'm so happy to hear you saying that, you know, emergence, more spiritual work, more of that. So
did your co-host have a question? I don't mind if she can give me a question. I have a little time now.
She can. Adjoa works very closely with me. She is my. I don't know quite how to describe her. How would you describe? How would you that we work? Well, I'll describe what we do. We work together, you know. And I very much wanted to have her with me in this project. I'm glad that she's here. Did you want to ask anything, or do you have
anything you want?
Do you have a comment? And also, if Rising Sun can let us see the chat, if people in the chat.
Yeah, people in the chat, they do their thing. Go ahead.
Simon,
go ahead. Go ahead, Adjoa.
I don't actually. I'm very grateful. Thank you. I don't actually have a question. I am. You know, Diana, some of what he's mentioned, some of what King Simon has mentioned, you mentioned earlier today. I don't know if you recall that. And so I don't have a question. I'm just really in the energy of the confirmation of the message.
Yes.
Yeah.
That you know, your name, that Adjoa, it adds up to a number 18. And that is a very say what I mean what I say, name, and it's very intuitive. It tells me you're very intuitive. You tapped in.
And she very much so is.
Yeah, she's tapped in.
She foresaw this.
Yes, she's tapped in.
She foresaw this.
You know, and it's all right. You know, I tell you know, I'm glad that just showing you that we're all in alignment, no matter what systems you're practicing. Because I could be across the world, and Diana could be doing a session for somebody else, and then they come to me, and I confirm it through.
And that is so in alignment with the space-time cycle that we're going in now.
That's
that
right.
Connectivity that people are seeing, those synchronicities. That's what before you came on. That's exactly what I was talking about. That seeing how you enter into the realm of seeing is that you first see the correlations within the diversity, and when you pay attention to them, the oneness behind the diversity reveals itself to you.
Exactly.
And you can align with that. And that flow will direct you, not to the exclusion of your rational mind, but as a complement to it.
Listen, I'm coming in. I want to ask, how did Adawa, Brother King? I call you family. I'm gonna have to tell you right now. I call Brother King my big brother that I never had. He's been my big brother I never had. He's been my coach, and it's like at the dojo of life. King Simon, I salute you, brother.
I salute you too, brother.
And I like what you were saying. We're going to have to pull Adawa up because, Diana, you know you can talk. But I want to hear, how did Adawa get connected to Diana? I'm going back screen.
There it goes. That's a good question. Hey, Adawa, come on now. And you know, in your name, how do you say your last name? Danielle.
Danelle.
Always look at you like you see how Diana Pharr has the double R's and you have the double L. Those are master numbers also. Because a lot of people will not acknowledge those double L, which brings intensity, but it brings mastery. Where in the Pythagorean, double R in Diana Pharr's name is the master number 99, and in the Chaldean system is the master number 22, where your double L's are the master number 33 in both systems. This brings healing from all different aspects, each one of those master numbers. So y'all are doing what you're supposed to do in your own masterful way. I say.
I was led to Diana through the ancestors and ascended beings. And I had the benefit of coming to know Diana through one of Diana's students and a really good friend, Naima, and I'm very grateful. And I became Diana's student at a most auspicious time. And becoming a student of Diana's has transformed my life. It has done for me what you, King Simon, shared about the trajectory of your life as you began to meet people and things began to unfold. And again, I have to share with the audience that the basic practice is such a tool,
right?
And it's the lessons from that work that Diana has worked with us to incorporate into our lives and essentially become our lives. And I'm just grateful every day.
Yes,
every day.
Diana is very unique. That's my unique friend.
Right back.
That master number. She.
Right back at you.
I gotta tell you, maybe by summertime you're gonna see me and Diana on a Harley motorcycle heading to Rockaway Beach. I'm out of here.
Rising Sun. Well, I told Quiera that Rising Sun keeps saying he's going to get a motorcycle and come and get me. I said, I'm going to get a long scarf.
Exactly.
I don't know what I'm going to put on it, but I'm going to get a long scarf and just let that scarf flow in the wind.
Flow in the wind.
I am going to. Angela, can you give you don't have to do all of the announcements, but did we correct? I want to know that King Simon's contact information was corrected.
Yeah, I think it was.
The information. I encourage people to contact me for the basic practice. The basic practice is a placeholder for the alchemy of redemption, restoring the magic of humanity. While I completed, I wanted people to have those principles because it's urgent at this time. So I put together a document with the principles and with the movements in it. If you email me, I will send you those documents. I will send you that document. There's no cost for that. And King Simon, now that Rising Sun has directed me into this new aspect of my beingness that I've been kind of elbow to the work, shoulder to the work, and not so much in the community for some years now. And it's because of Rising Sun that I've been inching out, and I'm like just out now. But you touched on some things that are so important that I hope that you can make time and come back.
Oh, sure.
And we can continue this conversation. I really like what you're saying about more spiritual work, more emergent.
Oh, yes.
Spiritual work and the power of that. I'd like to continue that conversation, and I'd also like to continue the conversation on eye to eye.
Yes.
And brother to brother. It's something that it needs to be discussed and go deeper into, because it's just something that's not a part of the narrative of our life.
Yeah.
The culture of Black manhood.
Speaking of that, speaking of Black manhood, Brother King.
Yes, sir.
You big brother to not only myself, but 2/3 of this audience are men. Right. So coming into this year, tell us younger brothers, like how to address 2024. I'm backing out again.
Discipline, because 4, 4, and 8 are all disciplinary numbers. Respecting spiritual discipline and physical discipline. And you can go down a religious route, you can go down a spiritual route, whatever works for you.
Whatever your
as long as it makes you better. And you remember that it was in a movie one time that the guy named Rock said, whether you believe in Jesus, Allah, or Moses, as long as it makes you better. And I don't take nothing away, because every one of them, everybody has a path. You can't get your mate's path, especially when it comes to relationship. Maybe your mate is not acknowledging your spiritual growth and you want to let her go because of that. No, you got to understand everybody has a path. Yes. But you can respect her path and respect each other's path, just like I had to respect my mother's. Let me tell you one story that just recently happened with my father and his wife. Now, my father, he did a session secretly from his wife because they're super Christians. But my father,
super Christians. They're not just Christian. They're super Christians.
But my father ain't that super, because he acknowledged that I'm alerted with the Bible, the Quran. I've studied these things over the years since I was young, because he was in and out of our life, and I needed to go towards manhood training, whether it was in the Nation of Islam or whether it was in the Ansar community on Bushwick, whether it was in the 5% Nation. I had to leave and go and do that. But recently, my father's wife, who I forgave, and I give forgiveness to, she said he cannot come and visit I could not come and visit my father because she believed that I practice witchcraft.
Yeah.
So I did a whole breakdown, and I said, if she understood what the word witch comes from, Wicca, which means wise, and she studied the documentary that even Leonard Nimoy broke down about the word witch, and when they demonized people that knew more than the government or the people head of states at that time, they would call them a witch. That the word witch means wise, and I had to put the WHICH and say, which craft is she talking about when she dealing with me? Because I'm doing numbers, and you got a whole book of numbers in your Bible. You know, my father started reading the book of Numbers because I kept on telling him, go read the book of Numbers and you'll understand what I do from paying attention to cycles, patterns, and sequence level. I do not believe in numbers being psychic, but it does enhance your intuitive abilities. I usually look at it, and Lloyd will tell you, it's not psychic. We look at patterns, cycles, sequences, and then it might seem like it's psychic because we're looking at your patterns, cycles, and sequences from your past, present, going into your future, but it's really numbers don't lie. People lie to themselves.
Yes. Another level of awareness emerges. A higher intelligence definitely emerges.
But we all got the psychic ability. We all got the intuition. We all got it.
Yes.
For her to shut me down from coming, and then when I look back into the trauma of that, Diana,
yes,
every woman that he's been married 3 times, and of course fooled around, and they've always tried to keep him away from.
You know, King Simon, what you're saying is very important, because earlier when I mentioned that one of the topics I want to talk about is the family scapegoat.
Yes.
Because a lot of visionaries within that context have experienced systemic psychological abuse and cruelty in the name of God within the family structure.
That's right.
And I know that and that particularly now, because we're living in with this cycle of 8 with fear, because the most powerful hatred isn't called hatred.
That's right.
It's called other things.
That's right.
And in the name of God.
That's
and
right.
It turns in the most hard. It could devolve into bloodlust and the most horrific behaviors. And there's a mentality that justifies this abuse in the name of God, and not recognizing that it is fear, that it is hatred, and the vibration of 8. You know, triggers that dynamic. So it's important, you know, I really, during this year, I want people that have experienced that within that family, within the family dynamic, because a lot of visionaries that opened up a pathway of awareness in their search of truth, what they've experienced sometimes within the family dynamic is extraordinary. And it definitely needs to be addressed.
And you know, and that's why forgiveness is the highest form of healing.
Yes.
Forgiveness is the highest, and everything you want is really on the other side of fear, even with her. You know, and I don't take nothing away from my father's wife, because she helped him come through his drug addict ways through Christianity. It helped him. But, you know, don't destroy the unity of his son, his oldest son, so you can keep his children towards those that believe in Christianity. I never told him I don't believe in Christianity. I understand it from another level now, because there was Gnostic Christians, there's Sufi Muslims, they're Kabbalist Jews. I understand it from that spiritual and higher level now. So, because one time my father called me and said, "Oh, I dreamt that you don't believe in Christ." I don't believe in Christ the way you believe it, because I understand that Christ came through as a theory for y'all, so y'all can be better and strive to be like Christ.
Yes,
Are you playing with that energy? And what we do helps us to be accountable and rise to the Christ anointed.
I don't know if you noticed some of the comments that came within the chat, but what you're saying, I can literally feel it resonating with people.
Yes.
I can, because that dynamic can be
Yes.
extraordinary, the extremes that families can go through in the name of God.
That's right.
And psychologically and annihilate someone.
Of course.
And that along with eye to eye, hand to heart, speak on it, King.
And that's why we had to go and find that amongst our own brothers. And that's why some of brothers go to the gangs to find it.
Yes.
Okay. I almost joined gangs. In Brooklyn, you know, it was the Jolly Stompers, the Baby Skulls, the Young Skulls. That was my era.
For family. For family.
For family.
For family. That gangs are a culture.
Exactly.
Where men have historically found a sense of belonging.
Exactly.
Where other aspects of their community, you know, it's so apparent. Our young men are walking around. And I remember once someone had commented to me, and this was a long time ago, about the aggression, the saggy jeans of the men. And I said, you know, that's one way you can look at it. I said, another way is that they are literally screaming at us that we are in pain.
Yeah.
And we feel alone, and we have to get up every day and put on this facade.
That's right.
To survive. And the only place that we get a respite from that is the gang environment. Right. You know, and I'm by no means promoting.
I mean, of course.
That's not what my point is. My point is that understanding when we allow ourselves to understand, it higher consciousness emerges. Yes. We see things from a different perspective.
And you know, that's why each one of those communities was very important. I left my mother's home at 16
when
years
I was a young woman for family. Yes.
Yeah, I left my mother's home at 16 years of age because not having my father around, and my mother's side is predominantly women. So I got a lot of the women's stuff early, but I needed that father side. So I was always gravitating. My father's side had most of the men. So I always went over to my father's side, or I went into whatever, hanging out with posses, because, you know, the Caribbean father, you know, I was at Flatbush hanging out with posse, getting kicked out of high school and junior high school for hanging out with posses. That's why I had to take GED. I was bored. I was hanging out with posse, smoking weed, doing my thing. And then it was 5% that got me, where the mathematics, because the black man needs to understand and the black woman needs to understand who are the original people of the earth. And when he said it, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad said, who is the original man? That's the question. The original man is the Asiatic black man, the maker, the owner, the cream of the planet Earth, God of the universe. That struck a whole thing in my head. Like, what? This dark-skinned body, this beautiful, who I've been dogged for being dark-skinned on both sides of my family and friends, almost took my life at 8 years of age. I wrote it in the book because I didn't know people didn't love me. I thought people didn't love me. So I had to go and find love within myself. And when I went to do it in that bathroom that time, I still have the razor blade mark on my wrist. And when I went to do it at 8 years old,
yes,
all these bombardment of ancestors.
And we're experiencing an epidemic of suicide in our community right now.
Of course.
Right now. You know, right now. And it's amazing with that dynamic.
That's right.
With that dynamic, how the mainstream has been so successful of demonizing the black male body, that as a nation, we can, because we all share the media, we can see the most horrific thing done to a black man, and there's never any empathy.
Mm-hmm.
There's never any empathy. There's never any discussion about he was living within this environment of aggression on a daily basis. When other people are attacked, it's like, well, we are surprised he did it because he sang in the choir and he was such a nice boy. And he was so, but I cannot think of any circumstance where the media expressed any humanity towards this experience, this experience of walking around in a male black body.
Yes.
So,
yeah. And and again, we as the divine masculine and feminine got to understand our truths in this physical realm and
yes.
heal from it, because these are the traumas and the dramas that are going to lead to lessons and blessings if we survive.
Yes.
That's why this is so important, and I'm really glad you're here, Brother King, because it ain't easy for a man of color, a black man in America. I mean, my parents never even told me about racism. They coddled us and then told us, get the funk out. It's time for you to grow up. It's 17. First they coddled us, and then when we hit 17, they kicked me out. My pop said, yo, you're the oldest of 7. Get the funk out. Go get a job in the military. No prep into the jungle, nothing. Yo, then my sister, she got kicked out at 16. My mom's like, oh, you think you are that much woman? Get the hell out. So that's why what you saying, Brother King, about to the men and the women, the message is going global, because black men in America, we face a wrath, and women, a lot of women weaponize sensitivity, but they have no idea the sensitivity that men experience. And Brother King, go ahead, drop some more. I'm backing up again.
You like the hype man.
Lord have mercy.
Flavor Flav.
Lord.
Singing the national anthem. Say, can you see? I like to have fun, because people used to, you have people that hate me because I smile a lot. I smile because if you look at
I have never seen you not smile.
But if you look at the poster for mental health is smiling. Look who dies, and we knew he was a joyous person. Robin Williams. That man you would never think he went through all of the madness he went through in his own head.
Yes.
So I had to manage a lot of stuff, and I smiled to protect myself from going down that road that could have led me. So from the third time that I even thought about taking my own life, it was going to be in a nightclub at Temptations back in the day. And I said that after that intervention, every time that I went to try to do it 3 times, there's always an intervention. From the 8-year-old to the 20-something-year-old to the 30-year-old, there was another intervention every time. And I'm going to write it in my autobiography, When the Late Bell Rang. When the Late Bell Rang. That's the name of the autobiography. When the Late Bell Rang. Powerful on what I'm going to describe. And I'm not going to mention too much because I was in the entertainment. I was a reggae entertainer. I was number 5 on the reggae chart. I was a promoter for SOBs. Palladium, a promoter for Temptation nightclub, a different nightclub, different spots. I promoted. I've been there, and I was womanizing because I learned that from my father, who was also a promoter, and my cousin was also a promoter. I learned all of that. So we try to be that man and that alpha male when we shouldn't be an alpha male.
It was part of the job description of promoters. You were promoter / womanizer.
Exactly. So, I heard one of my friends, his name is Dante Nori, who used to be a stripper named Mandingo. He said, I'm not an alpha male, I'm not a beta male, but I'm a better male because of the lessons that he learned.
Yes. And that's an interesting dynamic also, what we describe as street mentality.
Yes.
There's a culture of people that are very close to reality and close to have an astute understanding.
That's right.
Of the world and what's happening here in the world, their relationship with things ruled by 8, money, power. Because when you're in a culture and you're around people that deal with life and death on a daily basis, your perception of reality, and people who do promotion and it's a very, very different perception of reality.
That's right. Because I never really joined any gangs. The clubs harbored the gangs.
Yes.
and the 90s posse and this posse and that posse.
Yes.
I was there in Legend nightclub with 90s and this and that. I was there at Bentley's, and we was there at those different places. Diana Pharr was like, "What, bro? You saying some names?"
Let me tell you. Let me, it's like my students know about Ruby. I talk about her.
Ruby.
Really, because all of look, you want to talk? I mean, I'm not going to go too far there.
I know.
No pun intended, but that I have always, all of my life, been drawn to the portion of my community that was very close to the earth.
Yes.
And the men that were, I had an incarnation in the private sector, in the corporate world. And all while I was in that environment, I never dated men in that environment. I dated men that you would consider, well, let's call them entrepreneurial.
Really?
Yes, let's call, and I'll tell you something. My last husband, and I don't know if you knew Dr. Wilson, my last husband, but he was a financial person in Detroit, and then was selling cocaine, came to New York and studied acupuncture under Matula Shakur.
Oh, really? Get out of here.
Yes, so he was, when Asado was with him.
Whoa.
He was part of that. But that energy of, it's a different perspective on quote unquote spirituality amongst people who really know what it is to live very close to survival. Very, very, very close to survival.
And that was one of the places that helped me, the nightclub.
Yes.
That's why I don't down the stripper. That's why, Mr. Johnson, Mr. Johnson got angry at me because he was dealing with a conscious stripper. Y'all know what Johnson I'm talking about. And I said, because I understood the conversations that I had with strippers and the tears that we cried because of what they went through.
Yes, yes.
In those nightclubs.
It was, when I was bartending, there were circumstances of life that I ended up working nights because my first marriage had ended.
Yes.
I had 2 small children. I worked at Mahogany over on Fulton Street.
Oh, word.
So it was, and it was this dichotomy in my life where during the day I was doing healing work and a mother, and at night, but it was the bar teacher that I knew over my life that if I was in conflict, people that would, as they said, that would take a bullet for you.
Yes.
People that would be there for you. That a word like loyalty has a real meaning to.
That's right.
I function in academia. I function in the healing community. I function in the corporate community. But it is in the street community.
Yes.
I experience that weird family.
Yes.
With family. If it's done to you, it's done to me. The mentality of my husband. I knew, we didn't have a perfect marriage. Our marriage didn't last.
Right.
But in terms of having my back as a woman, no one could mess with me. He would take a bullet for me, no doubt.
That's right.
No doubt. So when I hear these conversations, some of the narrative around relationship is very far from my experience.
Well, I want to say something.
There you go.
And Diane, I'm listening to you, and Brother King, and we getting fired up. We're not even dealing with no psychedelics. We just calling it like it is.
Natural now. And
it's time for us to testify. That's what time it is. And I'm going to testify. My anger at the uneven table that I had to learn firsthand in the military, in high school, with Grady High School, exposed to the racism of Italians and Irish, with no pre-education, firsthand, just dropped in.
Yes.
I said, okay, I can't beat up these big muscle-bound folks. So I'm going to turn, and I call it to this day, Diana, crystal, magnet, sorcery. And I had a vengeance. There's nothing like vengeance when you start getting into psychedelics, trans work, and learning. So I was like, I'm going to create for family. I'm going to create for people who've experienced the short end of the stick of life.
Yeah.
That I want to make the best healing weapon grade crystal activation orgone. And it's almost like, and I don't, I'm mindful of price, but I ain't doing this to pay the rent. I'm doing this so that perhaps maybe we can create morphic resonance for justice. And what you're saying, Diana, and what you're saying, Brother King, you make me think of my brother Lenny that Diana met, because he was an Aquarius. He's an ancestor now. And he was February 11th. And he had a pit bull demeanor. He was an outlaw, but he was a diabolical genius.
Yeah.
And he ran with outlaw geniuses.
Yeah.
So this is real deep, man, because we seldom have a platform. Black man seldom has a platform with understanding women in the background saying, I understand. So, that's why I give you salutations, Brother King. And brothers, we give each other the salutations because the rest of the world, we're isolated.
That's right.
We're isolated. I'm going back in the background again.
Heart to heart.
I want to because magic is my work, and I have to define what that is. That magic extends from our alignment.
That's right.
That life is supposed to work on your behalf.
That's right.
And the things that you're mentioning, Rise and Sun, are tools. They're tools of invocation. They're tools that draw us into alignment with what is inherently already in us.
Right.
And the most powerful protection you can have is the universe itself, is life itself. When we cooperate with it, when we align ourselves with it, when we move with it. So, I want, because it took a long time for me to be comfortable saying magic. Yeah. And I always make the distinction between, and it's interesting, Rise and Sun, because you King Simon, you said something that's very liking to something that I say all the time. You can very easily tell the sacred from the profane from that earmark. Is it making you better? Is it cultivating your power? Is your life more seamless? Are you experiencing more synchronicity that deepens your connection to spirit? Whether it's Allah, Jesus, Ola Damari, whatever you call it, whatever you frame it as, it does that. If it's breaking you down, that's the distinction between magic, which is alignment with nature, and sorcery, which is you using something else to facilitate on your behalf. And that inherently within itself says you don't have power because you need to do that.
That's right.
You don't need to do that. You who we truly are. And the other thing Rise and Sun just said that was so important, and I don't know, one of you said it, we are so brilliant. There is so much genius in our community. There is so much talent. So much talent in our community that we're simply not aligned with. And the key is, we have a lot of people doing Reiki. We need more healers doing somatic trauma release work. If you're a Reiki person, if you're a yoga instructor, please do some somatic training. Do something. If you have your CYI, do a training in or just watch some videos in restorative yoga, because you already have the background, which raises the question. King Simon, do you still teach the arts, the martial arts?
No, I still train it. I don't teach it anymore. I guide people to different dojos throughout America that I recognize that are reputable, and they're not doing any foolishness. So, but I still connect. I still train because I moved to Georgia now. So I told you I moved to Stone Mountain, and I'm climbing trees at my age. I'm still training on trees.
Oh, you look great, darling.
I'm still training. Thank you.
you know, because it's like, I don't know how old you are, but I know how long I've known you, and so I could just guess.
I'm 56. I'm 56 years young. That's what I am.
You know, you look fantastic. But
Yeah. But thanks to people like Queen, of course, and thanks to Dr. Africa, Dr. Sabi, Paul Goss, and of course, Dick Gregory, and all the hosts of the ones that and Dr. Ignatius back in the day. We forget a lot of these people that they gave us this wisdom and knowledge in any way, any capacity. Of course, Sundial and all of them people from Sundial from back in the day, Abdul Hakim, that I used to be on WWRL and WLL.
I was asking about him in Root Tonic the other day because I never see it anymore.
Oh, well, he's in Ethiopia. His son is handling it now. Sundial. He lives in Ethiopia. He's more in Ethiopia. That's what when I talked to his son last, which was like a year ago.
I did. He was my client when I was selling advertising. When I was an account executive at Inner City Broadcasting.
And I used to work at WWRL and LIV, so I know what you're I used to work at those stations. That's right. We used to be there.
I'm telling you, we have the connections are phenomenal, and I think this resurgence of our connectivity is meaningful. I'm just watching it and seeing where it's going to evolve. Someone just said I'm adding restorative yoga. Yeah, absolutely.
You should.
I'm adding my yoga practice. I'm certified prenatal, especially for our children. Yeah, we are doing work tonight.
Yes.
The comments have been wonderful, very grounded, very practical.
I'm glad that I was here. I'm glad I'm here to share with y'all, and
I am glad to. Rising Sun, we're going to call benediction.
Hold on, wait a minute. This is hot. Hold on, Diana. Don't put the brakes on just yet. All right.
My son's.
Have y'all noticed the difference in the authenticity of brothers who hang out at the liquor store?
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, of course.
Because it's about authenticity.
Absolutely.
I come from a family of alcoholics.
My father was an alcoholic.
My whole damn family was almost alcoholics.
But you know,
that was just hold on, Diana. Let the brother speak. There was because you got me stirred up now. Have mercy. That was the way the previous generation dealt with the stress, the pain, the trauma. Yes. They would drink it away down in Virginia, North Carolina. My grandfather on my mom's side, he was a liquor runner. What they call bootlegging.
Yes.
You know, so we did what we had to do to survive. You know, the pretentious. I remember the story between Booker T. Washington and Du Bois. Du Bois was all bourgeoisie, and before he went into the death zone, he said Booker T. Washington was right.
He's something else. Thank you very much, Diana, for letting me be your first guest on this platform.
This could not have been a better premiere.
Yes.
I don't. Before you came on, I said, what better way to start than with the king? You know, it's. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rising Sun. Why don't you call a benediction for us?
What you mean you want a benediction? What you talking about?
Give us a good word to bring this energy into full circle.
Oh, wait a minute. I got my big brother King. He's gonna do a benediction. I'm in the background.
King Simon, bring us on home.
Well, I want to provide an affirmation for the number 8 year for everyone.
Beautiful.
And it says, I give everything to inspire others to be the best they can be.
Yes.
My deeds are my expression of wealth and well-being. I am enriched by helping to enrich others.
Beautiful.
Ashe.
Ashe. Ashe.
I keep it simple. My parents used to want us to do long prayers. I said, I keep it simple.
Beautiful. That was beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ajua, thank you very much for being
here. Thank you.
All right, Diana, I want you to tease the audience. Who you who are you possibly going to have the
Well,
next time you on?
it's really exciting because I'm really connecting through you with people from back in the days, people that are doing iconic work in other communities. And I'm really more in a position to talk about some of the topics that I want to discuss. It's an 8 year, so I want to bring in a financial person. We talk about investing, financial literacy. I want to do a show on scapegoating. I want to do a show on trauma release. Quiera Archer, which I have got a confirmation from, which we all know. She is the founding director of Ife Tayo. She's all over the world now. Her company is Global Ashe, and she's back and forth between Nigeria and the States and Jamaica. Jamaica and Atlanta are like extensions of New York, but there's something with that triangle: Jamaica, Atlanta, and New York. Quiera and Tyoma, and I don't want
Tyoma.
You know, Tyoma has delivered about 1,000 babies, but I want her to come and talk about what happens at birth and the return of an ancestor, and some of the things that we've always experienced as a people when a new soul comes into a family. There's some other exciting names that that I haven't gotten a confirmation for, so I'm not going to mention them by name. But just as tonight we talked about eye to eye and heart to heart, and there hasn't been a voice to talk about the brotherhood and the connection between the black men. And there are things that women haven't articulated. So we really want to talk about those things that for a long time have gone unspoken. I will be each month I will be doing a forecast alchemically, the direction of the energy, and helping people to truly align with the elemental shift and turn in the cycles of nature. And
thank you.
Ajawa will be with me. She listened to her correspondences. It's yin time, what she said in the beginning. It's so important. Soft light right now. Soft light right now, because our relationship with light and dark affects our circadian rhythms, our breath, our autonomic nervous system. That's what tells our organs how to behave. Right. And this is very, very important in relationship to our mental health, because trauma isn't the experience. Trauma is how it has established itself in your body.
That's right.
So very often people have a lot of information, but they're unable to change their behaviors because they're wired to a life event that happened so long ago. So aligning with the nature, with the elements is very, very important in cultivating your magic and being able to approach what comes up in your life from a place of who you truly are, which releases tremendous energy. King Simon, you really gave me some of the insights that you shared in terms of the deeply esoteric aspects of numerology, and you're with the sacred geometry behind you. I want to stay connected to you with that, because that's another thing with a Pluto in Aquarius, and I'm only doing this once a month.
Yeah, I'm Aquarius also. I'm Aquarius, so
so this is and a very, 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 very people are yes. It's that some of what I'm sharing, I would really like your input, and I'll say and King Simon contributed this, because that's also what this time is about, connecting the dots.
Yes.
Within all of these separate YouTube shows and whatever, there's a collective energy here that's very, very powerful, but we're moving in that direction anyway. And
I wanted to say thank you, and thank you for your Adwa for sharing this platform. Diana Pharr, people haven't given you your roses enough, and I'm glad that Brother Ankh Rising Sun is giving you. And we go back into inner city broadcasts and all of that. I've part of Bob Law was my boss. You know how that was, but you know our great, he and of course, big up to
That's when I was first introduced to you when you were with Bob.
yes.
God, when was that?
I was there. That's like late 80s, 90s, or something like that, 90s or something like that, early 90s.
It was a little bit of time ago.
Yeah, because Bob, I know Bob. I talk to him regularly, but I know he went through some type of sickness, but he's feeling better. I'm hearing, so I got to call him again.
He's one of the people that I'm planning on reaching out to.
Yes, I do have.
Imhotep, you know, all of those icons, because that was such an extraordinary time.
Oh man!
And this generation of seekers, I think that they would be very interested to know.
Yes.
About that time. So
that era when Frankie Crocker, there I go, there I go, there I go. Oh, pretty baby.
And Imhotep Fly Time.
Fly Time, that's right.
We were all listening at the same time. Wherever you were, it was like, okay.
We've all tuned in.
You know what, Brother King, Diana, Ottawa, who we should have on this show, on your show, Diana? Charles Barron.
Woo!
That would be wonderful.
Oh,
that
man.
would be wonderful, yes.
And his wife.
And his wife.
That's the balance right there. Don't forget.
And his wife, because they're a powerful duo.
Yeah, man. And I recall, you remember Sid Smalls from WWRL, the owner?
Yes.
You know, he did what he loved to do. He passed on riding his bike.
Okay.
That's how deep that was. He loved what he did so much that he rode right into heaven.
Wow.
The way he wanted to ride.
Yes, that is.
You know, doing what you love, and people do what you love to do, and you'll never work a day in your life.
Yes.
Believe it works.
That's the key. That's the key. That's when you know you're cultivating your magic, when you're able to be yourself for a living.
Yes.
That's the goal, and that's the goal and objective. Rising Sun, I'm running a file for everyone that, you know who else I'd like to have here is Burrell. Burrell developed the first Black advertising agency in Chicago. My sister worked for him. Wow. And just the work that he's doing now in connection to mental health and the effect that the media has on consciousness. He has an important contribution.
Whoever you get, it's gonna be fire, because
and of course Queen is gonna be here. She's my ride or die.
That is your ride or die.
So it's
you remember when I brought you, Queen, Ma'a, and Abundance Child to Nicholas, Brooklyn? Y'all all came out. Ma from Dr. Sabi's wife.
Look,
she don't come out at all. Believe me.
Let me tell you, it was then, Rising Sun, it was at that event that I saw your genius.
Yes, we did.
It was then that I saw you present and MC, and I said, this brother is brilliant.
Yep, that's what you told me. You grabbed me.
This spontaneous rep, and I'm like, this man is brilliant. I remember that. I remember that.
Big up to Mama Ella in the building, also very good, powerful medium. But I'm telling you, that was a monument. That was a time that will never be come back again.
Yes. I keep telling Imhotep, I said, we need a show through the entire diaspora and let it open up with Flight Time.
Yes.
Let it open up with Flight Time. I would love for at PowerPoints like the New Year, let the technology connect us all together at least once a year.
Yes.
We have all of these shows at least once a year that we connect and really magnify that energy out into the world. Man. Really magnify that, absolutely.
You being born on the 11th, you are the flight way. You are the 11 represents the runway to allow all of it to happen.
Well, I love 11s are also 2s, and I love the colleague experience, and I love from learning from other teachers. And you have some depth of the numerology that I'm going to be drawing upon. So I sit at your knee.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad you said what you said. 11 is 2, because a lot of numerologists won't reduce that 11. But if you don't understand the 11, you can still use the 2 to become the master.
Exactly, and a lot of 11s never get beyond that 2.
Exactly.
A lot of 22s. That's why I said with the 8, we're talking about power and money.
Exactly.
Well, there's so much also fear and blockage and hatred that's preventing people from tapping into the power.
And the trauma. And that's what I recognize with my clients. They, everybody's they want to be this master number. I said, look, with master numbers come great responsibility.
Exactly.
And if you're not ready for it, you better stay where you're at.
And it's I'm born on the 11th. My oldest is born on the 22nd, and my baby has a 33 souls number.
Woo!
And when Lloyd did our numbers, he said, "Good Lord, Diana." I said, "Yeah." I said, "You know what a master number means? If you don't die or go crazy, you become a master."
You become a master.
It is not an easy, it's not, it's not that you're born, it is a tempering process. The people that I see, and 8 is a powerful number.
8 is a powerful
9 is people with those powerful numbers.
7,
One of the
8, 9.
things that I really want your support to continue is to help people within the community unlock that power.
And that's
because
why I'm ready.
Have it. We have it. But the way you're talking about your sessions, that you're talking about helping people to unlock that energy.
Unlock it. And people think it because we, Diana, we grown up in a microwave society. Microwave been around for over 50 years. So a lot of people still think they can push a button and there it is.
Exactly.
It ain't happening.
It's add water and mix. Instant numerology. You just add water and drink it.
And if they want instant, I send them to numerologist.com where they can go get instant. That's why I don't even have an app yet, because there's so much. I big up to Lloyd. He got an app now, but there's so much in my head. I'm downloading and uploading too much. It's like I showed Lloyd the other day.
You sound like me, King. So Ajua is smiling because she's saying, she hears me say this. She's hearing me echo. She's hearing Diana come out of your voice.
You don't know. You can't tell, but I'm literally sitting on the edge of my seat right now. I've scooched forward like 3 times.
We are here. We are here. We are here.
Yes.
We are here.
We are here. And what's so funny? I want to show y'all something, a book I bought for $100 because I spend big money to get information and cross-reference and then spiritual downloads. But this is a book you might not be able to see. Yeah, it's called The Symbols of Numerology by Julia Seaton, MD, physician. She was the one who coined the word numerology, a woman.
Wow.
But they changed the name to a Julian Staten from 1907 instead of recognizing her. But all the information is leading to her and her daughter, because her daughter became a numerologist also and wrote a book, and both of them have transitioned.
Wow.
It's Julia Seaton, MD, but they try to name it Julian Staten because of that time and era. The patriarchal European was doing their thing. But when you study her history, she was in South Africa teaching. She was in all over the world. But she coined the word numerology that came out in 1907. And then I started seeing patterns. She was born in a year that add up to the number 8. 1907 adds up to a number 8. So I started seeing patterns. I said, oh, it's her that created this. Because there's no real information on Julian Staten. But there's more information of her, even in the
that's that intuitive energy coming in when you're watching you're watching the trail. You have the epiphany, and you say, "Okay,
exactly." So, and that's why I had to tell Lloyd Strayhorn. He said, "Wow, Simon," he said, "that's a great analysis." You know how Lloyd says it in his smooth radio voice from WBLS, WRB. He said, "That's a great analysis," because even Kiro, one of the oldest numerologists that Lloyd studied palmistry from and all of that, he never mentioned the word numerology in his book. Ever.
No.
Some of the older numerology never mentioned it until after 1980 and 1907, going into the 1930s and all that. They never mentioned it. They always said numbers, vibration, sound and numbers. It's only the publishers that reprinted it, put numerology, but that was not when the word came into existence.
That's very, very interesting.
Go figure. That's why I created the word numerovation and submitted it to the lexicon dictionary and the urban dictionary. So in the next 100 years, like this woman did, numerovation, motivating you with your numbers, is going to be what it is.
Yes. All right now. This has been this has been a blast. And I knew it would be a blast.
It would be a blast.
I knew it would be a blast. So
that's why I called you first.
I'm telling you,
good.
It's our pre-conversation was like,
yeah,
because I was writing when you called, and I don't pick up the phone. There are few people that are in my orb, and when I picked up, I said that, and it was like, it's love.
It's love.
It's love. It is absolutely a resonance in love, and I'm looking forward to cultivating that energy.
Well, people, please like, subscribe, and share. This is Diana Pharr and Adua's first presentation. Of course, Adua kept it quiet, and I understand, but this is their first presentation. Every last Thursday, I big up. Keep that beautiful smile, ladies. Don't even run away from it. Keep on smiling. Keep smiling.
Thank you.
King Simon, I must say your shirt has me smiling.
Oh
as
yes.
Well. It has a wow. There's more to it.
Wow.
Yes.
It is made by a beautiful African woman out here, and I know I'm kind of but it's made by Chic in it's called Chic in Print.
I've been looking at it too.
Yes.
In Florida, right here in South Florida. Beautiful sister, born December the 16th. I've supported her. I went to a business when it first opened out here. She's a sister from out of Nigeria, and beautiful sister. And she does these different patterns and all that. And it's made out of suede now. It's a suede.
Wow.
Suede. It's a suede print. So,
wow. Oh my gosh. Beautiful. Beautiful.
How far in South Florida?
I'm in Fort Lauderdale right now. So she's in Fort Lauderdale. She's like Fort Lauderdale. So I'm in Fort Lauderdale right now.
Oh, wow. Okay. I'm in Miami.
Oh, yeah. I'm coming down to Miami.
Well, King Simon,
I know you're out here.
Ajua is connected to the family in Ghana who are the keepers of Ndinkra.
And that's where my family from Jamaica to Ghana. We found out they're from Ghana, so I know. I'm Kweku. That's why I was born on Wednesday. So
okay.
I always use that name when I'm doing like acting or any type of presentation. I'll use King Simon Kweku.
Okay.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Oh, very nice. Have you? Okay. All right. Well,
they said I'm an Ashanti warrior. One of the elders said I look like one of the Ashanti boys. I said okay.
Well, then I will ask my question. I was going to So have you returned home yet?
No, my father has, because I had passport problems over the years and been banned from certain countries for certain things that I did. And but my father, my cousin, every time my father goes, he said he goes and kiss the ground because it reminds him of Jamaica. But he found out that's where his bloodline comes from wow. The Maroons and all of that. That's where we come from. We're the warriors. We warriors.
Wow. You are that. Yeah, that was my association with you back in the days that you were a warrior, the martial arts.
Yeah, we were doing the martial arts because I was in the nation and I was under Dr. Khalid and Minister Farrakhan. So we was definitely, the Khalid always used to say, we are all saints, saviors, soldiers, scholars, healers, and killers. I always pray and say that I hope that it.
Repeat that. Say that again.
Dr. Khalid used to call us the saints, saviors, soldiers, scholars, healers, and killers. So my prayer is when I say, I hope that when it's time, one of those things will come out at the appropriate time.
You choose the proper weapon.
That's right.
You choose.
Saint, savior, soldier, scholar, healer, or killer.
I'm known to have a bit of intuition, and I can see when you say more spiritual work in emergence.
Yes.
Because the combination of those two, when you talk about the mental health
Yes.
The way you're doing the numerology, the sacred geometry with your history, with martial arts,
Yes.
that's a powerful combination.
Yes.
That's a very, very powerful combination.
And you know, I'm happy that I went from the security end, because they had to train us to be able to handle situations straight up right away. It wasn't not, I didn't go for belts and all that kind of stuff. We went to handle things straight up, and we had to bodyguard a lot of people. Our team, big up to them back in the day with
you're triggering my memory. Good Lord. Wow.
I remember I did security for Tupac at this hospital bed when he got shot the first time. So I was there when he got shot the first time, when we had to take over security from whoever they had who had his security. So I was there when he moved from one hospital to the other, when I met Afeni Shakur and met a lot of people. Jada Pickett was there, big up to her, Tretch, everybody. So there was some moments. Those were some moments. And
this is exactly what I want to share.
Yes, ma'am.
This is exactly what sitting on the porch.
Yeah, shaking and rocking.
sitting on the porch. Back in the day when I was a party girl, my favorite time was after the party in the kitchen.
Yep.
Where people were sitting around talking till dawn.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That's the energy that I want here. You know, because so that this is passed on.
Yes.
So that this is passed on. It's important.
And that's why I'm out here in Florida, to get some heat and get some beach time, to get my mind, to do some. I did some Tai Chi on the beach with my nephew and all that kind of, because he's from the generation of Sanukas, and he's one of the young bucks that's coming up, and he is awesome in Tai Chi and Qigong, but showing you not only the soft way but also the combative way of doing it. You know, and understanding the balance. So we're out here. His name is Imhotep. So you go ahead and figure that one out. Shion Imhotep.
Well.
Big up to Dr. Love too. I heard he's out here too. I got a big.
Yes. I have. As they say back in the day, we'll talk.
You out here, so we need to link up. Since I'm
we will talk. Wink, wink, wink.
Because our brother Shango Ra is out here too.
He is. Yes, he is.
Yeah, he invited me to a drum circle, but I wasn't able to make it because my family, I just came in town, so the family wanted to get me to do something. But I'm going to link up with Shango Ra at one day.
Awesome. Phenomenal. Yeah, I work with him.
And speaking of family, my son's in-laws are awaiting me.
Oh, sorry.
No, I'm fine. I'm fine. And they know I'm just doing a drive-by. This is, we will, Rising Sun, what you back somewhere, you know.
You know, he hiding, he eating food somewhere. You know,
thank you so much. Thank you so much. This was King Simon. Thank you so much for blessing this premiere. Yes, it could not have been better. It was absolutely the fulfillment of my heart's desire. I knew you know, well, okay, I'm not going to take responsibility for that. Rising Sun, don't start me to lie. but because Rising Sun knew the energy we were looking for, he said King Simon. And he was absolutely right.
Yes, man. And I'm glad I could open up.
Perfect Rising Sun.
I'm glad. Namaste.
To be continued.
Yes.
This was divine.
Say often, yes, I am. Supreme shield of protection surrounding me. Yes, I am. Yes, I am remembering all I was born to do. Yes, I am. Take hold of your crystal, which will magnify your I am affirmations at least 600%.